Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy Friday. Welcome back finally to another ranking my makeup video. I promised you guys every single Friday until we ranked my entire makeup collection, I would be posting a makeup ranking video, and then I missed at least 2 weeks because I am so disorganized and don't have my life together. In all fairness to me, I did already film this video and this would have been ready to go, but then my files corrupted and it is what it is. I am a hot mess. I just filmed my Deca Panning Project Pan update. That's probably the most recent video before this that will go up, and I'm in the exact same everything because I'm literally filming this right after I filmed that video. My air conditioning just came on. It'll probably be really hot. Hopefully not really hot. Really loud. It's very warm outside. I'm burnt. I'm a hot mess. It's a disaster, but it is what it is. And I'm very excited that today I'm going to be ranking all of my foundations for you. I did decide to split up my foundations and my tinted moisturizer, super light coverage foundations. So it's just foundations today. We'll do tinted moisturizers next Friday, which I'm super excited about, but I have 18 foundations to rank for you today. Yes, 18, because I'm super extra and literally just love trying all of the new foundations. So if you're interested in seeing how I would rank my foundation collection from the worst to the best, in my opinion, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project panning content, ranking makeup, or just chit-chatting about makeup, I would love if you'd consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into the video. All right, you guys, before we get started, for reference, I do have definitely dry. I'm like, who am I kidding? It's very dry skin. I prefer a more natural, potentially leaning glowy, but not super glowy, not super dewy finish, and light to medium coverage is my sweet spot. So just bear that in mind as we go through and rank my foundation collection. I will leave my ranking my makeup playlist down below in case you missed the previous weeks. We've ranked primer and concealer, and if you're interested in catching my previous years, I've done this for at least 2 years. This is at least my 3rd year ranking my foundation collection. I always think it's kind of fun to look back and see how my preferences have changed, and some of my foundations, a majority of my foundations that were favorites are still favorites, but sometimes a foundation ends up in your collection for so long. Sorry, I have to tuck my ear in. A foundation's in your collection so long that it just isn't a favorite anymore because you grow tired of it. So that being said, let's jump into it. We're gonna start with my least favorite foundation in my collection. And I will say it was kind of a tough choice. It was kind of a tough choice because overall I feel like I like my foundation collection, but I had to go with the one that's currently on my face. And looking in the viewfinder, I'm I don't necessarily hate the way that my skin looks right now, but overall, I just don't love the way that this foundation looks on me. And it is my Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder Your Light Dream Skin Foundation with broad spectrum SPF 15. Now I have mine in the shade 7 medium. I will say I'm not a good person to gauge your shade to. I buy my foundations in such a range of shades. I don't even know what I'm thinking or doing when I purchase my foundations. I never know, am I matching myself at my fairest? Am I matching myself when I'm soft tan? It just, don't use me as a reference for your foundation matching whatever. But this is pretty deep for me even when I do have a self tan, and it's light coverage and it just doesn't stick to my face very well. I feel like it doesn't have a good lasting power. It makes me look like my skin is almost dry, it's glowy in a greasy way, but then also makes my skin look dry. It just, if you get up close, it looks dry and flaky and textured, and I want to love this. I want to love this so badly. I don't know, it's one of those products where I almost can't get myself to come to terms with the fact that I do need to just declutter it because I want to love this so bad, and I don't know what it is about this product specifically that makes me want to love it so bad. Is it that it's Charlotte Tilbury? I'm really not sure, but it's honestly my least favorite foundation in my collection. Next up is coming in at number 17, another very pricey foundation. It's the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. I just don't like this. This again kind of makes my skin just look aged when I wear it. I feel like I only ever mix this with other foundations because I do not like the way that this looks on my skin on its own. I don't feel like it gives good coverage. I feel like no matter what, even if I have a smoothing primer on, it just does not make my face look smooth or flawless. I feel like there's mixed reviews on this. I know some people love this, and I'm just not a person that loves this. I am currently trying to pan this and finish this up so I can stop looking at it and being so bitter about spending $68 on this and just not loving it, but this would definitely be this number 17 in my ranking foundation project, if you will. Coming in at number 16, this used to be a favorite of mine, but my preferences have definitely changed. This is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. I don't even know if they make this anymore. I feel like I've been unofficially trying to pan this for like years at this point in time. This is definitely expired, but it still smells okay. It doesn't make me break out. I'm good with it. I have, you know, maybe like a fourth of this product left. I would just like to finish this up, but this is just like too full coverage and too heavy for my preferences these days. I feel like I used to think this wasn't heavy at all, but then like the era of the tinted moisturizer came along and now I'm like, ooh, this is way too heavy for my preferences. This also just isn't a great shade match for me, so I'm just trying to get through it. Again, I don't even know if they make this anymore, but I would rank this number 16 in my foundation collection. Coming in at number 14, this is newer to my collection and I'm kind of bummed about this. Like, I wanted to love this. This is another one that I feel like I'm gonna keep trying because I like want to love this so bad, and this is definitely because this is a Chanel product, but it is the Le Beige Healthy Glow Foundation. The Healthy Glow Foundation. First of all, the shade match, again, just not great. I thought this was gonna be, I don't know what I thought this was gonna be. This is definitely lighter than I thought it was gonna be. I have it in the shade B20. This again is, like, I swear it's supposed to be a healthy glow foundation as the name would suggest, and this makes my skin look dry. Like, I don't know what the deal is. Maybe my skin is just very, very dry and I need to just actually drink some water. Like, drink some water, girlfriend. But I don't love the way that this looks on my skin. I do feel like part of this could be a primer problem, because there's been a couple of primers that I've tried it with that I don't like it with, and then there's other primers that I have liked it, so I need to keep trying this. But as it stands right now, this would be number 15 in my ranking of my foundation collection. Coming in at number 14 is another newer one to my collection. This is the Makeup Forever HD Skin, like the new foundation. So right off the bat, this is supposed to be for more like normal to oily skin, so not necessarily geared towards my skin type. Now, I don't necessarily feel like this makes my skin look dry. It just looks more matte than I typically prefer, but I do actually still like this foundation overall. I just like everything else that I'm ranking a little bit better, so I would have to rank this at number 14. This has a good lasting power. Like, when I want my makeup to last all day, like I'm getting ready for work and I want my makeup to last all day, maybe we have a visit, what have you, I do opt for this foundation. So this definitely has a purpose. It's just not my favorite go-to. Like, if I was going to like a concert or an event, this wouldn't be my number one choice, just because I have other foundations that I feel like look prettier on my skin, personally, for me and my dry skin. Coming in at number, I think we're on 13. This could be a shade thing. This is the LYS Triple Fix Serum Foundation. I have mine in the shade, if I haven't been saying my shades, I'm sorry. I have them in the shade MN5, I believe. This I do really like. It is really thin, like a serum, and it does offer a good amount of coverage for being so thin. It just isn't my favorite. Like, I feel like sometimes this can end up looking a little bit too glowy on me, to the point where it's like greasy. I don't feel like this has the best lasting power on my skin personally either. And overall, there's just other foundations that I would always choose over this one. So this is kind of one that I feel like is just like lingering in my collection for me to use, but I don't get super excited about it. That's why I'm ranking it at number 13. Coming in at number 12, I have this one from Merit. This is their Perfecting Complexion Stick. So I do really like this. I think this is really nice. It's like a nice light coverage stick foundation. It's the only stick foundation I currently have in my collection. I don't love a stick foundation, but I do think this offers a really nice light coverage for a stick foundation. For lasting power, for me, I don't feel like this has the best lasting power, and I have to be careful with my primers on this one as well. I feel like some primers that I pair this with, if I pair this with a gripping primer, it just ends up looking a little bit funky on my skin. But there's sometimes that I also really do enjoy this. Again, if I'm going for just like an easier light coverage look and don't need anything like super over the top or super glamorous, I often will opt for this. So I like this. Would I repurchase this? They did send this to me. I don't feel like I would spend my own money on this, just because I don't even like really a stick foundation, but I do still think it's okay. Coming in at number 11, I have this one from Oma Beauty. This is the Say What Weightless Soft Matte Hydrating Foundation. I have mine in the shade White Pearl T2N. Part of this I feel like is a shade problem. This is way too light for me, but I definitely like the Oma Beauty like Sharon C foundation better. That'll be ranking higher. You'll see that later. I used to really enjoy this one, but I just don't love it as much as I used to. It again looks a little bit dry on my skin. It is more of a matte finish as opposed to like a glowier finish, even though, no, it says soft matte. I was like, does this say glowy on it? It does offer a soft matte finish, but that's just not always what I'm going for. So for me, this is good, not great. I do think a lot of people who prefer a soft matte would really love this because it does have a very weightless feel to it. I do think it's very thin. It almost feels like a serum style foundation to me with how thin it is. It's just, it's not my personal top preference. Coming in at number 10, I have this one from Givenchy right off the bat. Shade problem. I went with definitely deeper than my even self-tan shade with this, so I do have to mix this when I use this. This also is very heavily fragranced, so I never use this multiple days in a row just out of fear of breaking out. But this is something that I almost kind of want to like declutter this shade because this just doesn't work for me. But I would pick this up in my actual shade because I do think it is a beautiful, it has a very beautiful finish. It's very natural with just like the slightest hint of like a healthy glow to the skin, which is like my absolute sweet spot. My only downfall of this is how fragranced it is. I just don't love that, and I don't want to use it like multiple days back to back. But I feel like maybe I should declutter this and then just actually purchase my shade, or maybe try and get through some foundations and eventually come back and purchase this in my real shade. My next declutter, I feel like I need to do that. I do still really like, I still like this foundation. It definitely has its cons. Coming in at number 9, I have a new one from Kosas. This is the Revealer Skin Improving Foundation. Overall, I do really love this foundation. I think it's beautiful. My only downfall with this one is the wear time. So if I have a long day at work, I won't be wearing this foundation because I feel like this only looks good or like stays on my face for like 6-ish hours. And after that, it like really starts to wear away, especially because I'm like the worst in terms of like just touching my face, especially my chin. I think that's why I end up with chin acne all the time, partially because I eat a lot of cheese, but like also I think it's a me problem and I just like am always touching my face. So in terms of lasting power, staying power, this is not the best in my opinion, but I do think this has a really beautiful glowy finish. If you don't like a glowier finish, this is not going to be the foundation for you, but I personally really like it. I have mine in the shade A12, I believe. Is that right? No, light medium neutral 200, and I actually do really like this shade match for me. Obviously I'm like very red and very bronzy, tanny, burny right now, so maybe not the perfect shade match for me right now. Obviously I can use bronzer and stuff to warm up the face, but overall I do like the shade match for me as well. So that one would be my number 9. Coming in at number 8, I have another new one to my collection this year. This is the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. I have mine in the shade Vienna, which I do really like the shade match on this when I have more of a self tan. Sometimes I feel like I have to mix in a little bit more of a light shade because it can get a little bit dark. I'm the worst at shade matching, but this is really nice for I don't want to call this like a soft matte, maybe like a satin matte finish. It does have like a healthy glow, but not a glow in like a satin matte sort of way, you kind of get me. It does have really, really good staying power. This is another one, if I have like a longer day at work or maybe a visit, this is something I'll consider wearing. Still not a tippy top favorite for like going to an event where I would choose this. I think it makes my skin look pretty. I just have other ones that I prefer just a little bit more, but this is like a go-to work foundation for me. I've been reaching for this a lot on long days for work, and I really like it. I think if you like something that's going to give you a good lasting power and still be like a neutral, like a medium, light medium, more medium finish, satin matte sort of esque style, I don't know what I'm saying at this point, I do think you would really enjoy this. Coming in at number 7, an old favorite. This is the Giorgio Armani Neo Nude True to Skin Natural Glow Foundation. I do still think this is a really beautiful foundation. I may repurchase this. This is very similar to the NYX Born to Glow, which we're gonna get to. I don't know if they still make the NYX Born to Glow. If they didn't, I would consider repurchasing this. I have mine in the shade 4.5. It's a really nice shade match for me when I am more like tan. It has a really beautiful light, could reach a medium finish, very natural on the skin with like that healthy skin sort of feel to it. And overall, it's just a great staple foundation. I would say like the top 7 are like tippity top favorites for me. This is something I would consider wearing to an event. I do really like this. It is not the best in terms of lasting power compared to the rest, but it does still have a good staying power in my opinion. And overall, I raved about this for a long time. I still do really enjoy this foundation. There's just a few I like more. Next up, I have the Rare Beauty, what is this? I don't remember what this is called, but I have this one from Rare Beauty. This is in the shade 150C, way too light for me, but I mix this foundation with everything, and truly I feel like this would be an absolute staple favorite. Use it on its own if it was a shade that worked for me. It's very light coverage. It doesn't feel heavy on the skin. Sorry, it's very light, as in it doesn't feel heavy on the skin, but gives a good light to medium coverage. I would say more light, but that's really what I love. It's not a tinted moisturizer, like it gives you more coverage than that, but it just does not feel heavy on the skin. It's very comfortable. I really enjoy this. I will say I don't think it has the tippity top lasting power, but still a good amount of staying power in my opinion, and this has just become a favorite. I feel like this was not a favorite when I first started trying it, but over time and over like frequent use, I've just really fallen in love with this. When I finish this, which I feel like I'm getting close, I will purchase this in a shade that matches me better. And I am curious to see with me using it just on its own, how my feelings would be. I feel like I would still feel the same way or even potentially love it more. So that would be my number 6. We're into the top 5. Coming in at number 5, I have my NYX Born to Glow, which I was just talking about. This reminds me a lot of the Giorgio Armani Neo Nude. It's a very natural, radiant finish, just like a healthy, glowy, skin-like finish in my opinion. It does offer a good medium coverage, and it's just a good foundation. I feel like it has good staying power. I would say at least 8 hours. Sometimes with like glowier foundations, 8 hours is like a good amount of time to me. If I was going for like a longer day at work, I might do the NARS over something like this, but honestly, sometimes I also don't care. This wears away gracefully, and I just think it's a good staple foundation from the drugstore. Coming in at numero 4, right? Number 4, I have the Oma Beauty by Sharon C Flawless IRL Skin Perfecting Foundation. I freaking love this foundation. Now, this is not necessarily my sweet spot in terms of finish. It definitely has more of a satin matte finish in my opinion, but I feel like every foundation that I wear sinks into my forehead lines, and this somehow just doesn't do it. It is such a smoothing foundation. It really just makes my skin look like it has a filtered effect, and I love this foundation. This is something I 100% will wear to events and have worn to events. I just wore it to an Eric Church concert. I don't wear this to work sometimes because I feel like I do that thing where I love this so much I feel like I have to reserve it for like special occasions. But truly, it's not even that expensive. I think it's under 15 bucks if you get it when you get it at Walmart. I believe you can only get it at Walmart or on their website. It's such a staple. Absolutely will repurchase when I finish this. I love this one so much more than the like higher priced one too. I don't know what it is about this one. I just feel like it gives me such a filtered, flawless finish, and I just can't get enough. Coming in at number 3, I have this one from Clinique. It's the Even Better Clinical Serum Foundation. This is another just like, it's just such a good foundation. It has great lasting power. This definitely gives more of a medium coverage finish. So actually my top 3 foundations I feel like definitely give more of like a medium coverage as opposed to light medium coverage. But this is something I will wear on a summer day. I will wear this to work. I will wear this to events. The lasting power on this is incredible, and it just offers really great coverage. It does feel like a serum foundation, like it's marketed as though. It's really light on the skin. It does not feel heavy, and it just gives such a flawless finish. Love this one so much. Can't recommend it enough. Definitely my number 3. Coming in at number 2, I feel like these 2 that I'm about to mention are always competing for like spots 1 through 3 in this ranking, but I have the Dior Forever Skin Glow Foundation. I love this foundation so much. I am terrified to try the reformulated version. I hope it's just as good, if not better, but I have heard possibly the opposite. This is so beautiful. Offers a good medium, not full, but like medium, like a good medium coverage, and it just has a glow without being too much of a glow, so a very healthy skin like glow. I wear this, like, this is like my go-to when I want just like a glowy event foundation. I reach for this all the time. I'm currently working on this in my whole collection project pan, so I even wear this to work. I feel like it has great lasting power and great staying power on work days as well. And overall, I just truly can't rave enough about this foundation. This has consistently been in like my top 3, like I said, every time I do a foundation ranking. So if you've been thinking about it, hopefully the reformulated is just as good, but I do recommend. And then coming in at number 1 is its sister. This is the Dior Forever foundation, and I feel like I always rank the Forever just above the Forever Skin Glow because this offers such a great satin matte finish. I feel like the lasting power on this one lasts just a little bit longer than the glowy one. And if I want my skin to glow, I can also add glowier products on top of this foundation. So honestly, if I had to choose between these two for an event, I mean, it depends on like the time of year, etc. In the summertime, I might opt for this more frequently, but if I truly could only choose one, it would be this one because I can add those glowier products. I love the satin matte finish that this gives. Good medium coverage, does not feel heavy on the skin. I just truly love this one. I keep raving about it. This has been a favorite for years. I purchased multiple bottles of it. If you've been thinking about it, you should go buy it now. And we're done. That is gonna wrap up my foundation ranking. Like I said, I hope to be back on track with my makeup ranking videos every single Friday. Look for some sort of ranking on this channel. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see me rank next. I will do skin tints next week just because it feels like a natural flow. But after that, what do you want to see next? Blush, bronzer, highlighter? You tell me. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.